Beyond the visible. Who are we without the title? Good afternoon, everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you worked so hard on something that it stops being a goal and becomes your identity? Topper, dancer, musician, cricketer, athlete. Now imagine waking up one day and that identity is completely gone from your life. No warning, no applause, no replacement. Well, that was me. People saw me as a national athlete. They saw medals. They saw me winning for my school, winning for Delhi while I played basketball and represented India in netball for 4 years, being the youngest captain of the national team, bringing India its first silver medal under my captaincy. Everybody saw the Indian jersey, but what they did not see was the night that I sat alone after 11 years of sporting career in my room after I announced my retirement at the age of 21 from sports, holding the same jersey with tears in my eyes, and asking myself, if I'm not an athlete, then who am I? That question broke me before it could rebuild me. I started playing young. I was just 11 years old. While my friends were at birthday parties, I was at practice in the morning. While they were sleeping, I was running the drills at 4:30 a.m. I still remember I used to wake up my dad, make a cup of tea for him, and used to tell him, Papa, mujhe school chhod ke aao, I have a morning practice. And that was more or less my routine for almost 6 years of my schooling career. Schooling during my school is what I meant. People say you're lucky that you've represented the country. You're lucky that you were able to wear the Indian jersey, being the youngest captain, leading the team, titles given as was introduced in the introduction given, Queen of the Court by Times of India. But was it really luck? Well, luck does not wake up before sunrise. Luck does not train through injuries. Luck does not choose discipline over distraction. Success is something that's visible. Well, tall Indian player, turned actor. Now she's having a fancy life. She's traveling. She gets to do whatever she wants to do in her life. Being a TEDx speaker. But sacrifice is not visible. Fighting odds, such as politics, injuries, being a dominant personality in a male-dominating world, heartbreaks, casting couches, family issues, mood swings, betrayals. I think these all personal and professional hurdles is something that nobody else sees but us. We celebrate the highlights but ignore the hard drive behind it. The invisible hours create the visible victories. When I retired at the age of 21 after winning India's first silver medal, I told everyone that I was perfectly fine and I was really excited about the new journey in my life, and I completed my MBA and I was looking forward for a corporate job in one of the big 4 companies as a consultant. But does it really define you? I smiled. I posted pictures. I said I was excited, but I was not. Being the captain of the Indian team and being a part of the team, which was more of fun, travel, I think that was something that corporate and these institutions didn't offer me. There was a child in me wanting to do something that I really wished to do without being bossed by anyone. One night, I sat and saw at a blank wall, staring, I always have had this habit of writing and making my own calendars and marking the dates, canceling it, because that's how I've always led my life, one day at a time. But now, there was no schedule, no team, no national camp, and no title captain. I still feel and believe sports days was the best time of my life and will always be. And whatever I am today standing in front of you is all because of whatever sports has given me in my life. For the first time in years, I felt irrelevant after announcing my retirement and lost in the mass crowd, as I said, of the institutions and the corporate life. Have you ever felt that? I still feel that you're too young to feel that. Like you were once somebody and suddenly you are a nobody. Transition looks glamorous online. It feels terrifying in real life. Another opportunity knocked my door while I worked for Accenture as a consultant in 2015. I still remember I had an office at Jantar Mantar, just in the DLF building, on the 6th floor, head office of Accenture, and I received this message of a creative director from the Aur Baati Hum on my Facebook fan page, which was apparently of a sports person. And then I was confused. I was like, maybe must be some fraud. And I ended up sharing with a friend of mine from the industry as a musician. And he was like, Prachi, bahut bada channel hai. It's one of the biggest celebrated shows in the country. Why don't you just speak to this? It's a message from a girl. There's no harm in talking to her at least once. And I was just pushing it. I was like, who is going to reach out to me for acting? And then because I'd had no acting background, no interest in stage or theater, or no experience either. But they reached out to me because they were looking for a tall girl for this character named as Arzu in the Aur Baati Hum. And that's when she ended up searching on Google tall girls in India, and my name popped up from my sports career of being an athlete. And she randomly messaged me, and after 4 to 5 days of her message, I ended up talking to this girl. And then she was like, would you be interested in this? And it's a beautiful character. She's a Salman Khan fan, and then she has a small dog. She doesn't have parents, and she's very close to her grandmom, and then her journey from Pakistan to India is shown. And then I was like, okay, so something that really excited me about the character was being a national athlete and getting an opportunity to play a Pakistani girl and her journey from Pakistan to this family in India. I think that was the hook for me. Being the national captain, I get to play a role of a Pakistani girl and her beautiful journey. So I was like, okay, let's meet. And then honestly, rest of it was history. I think in a matter of 3 days, I ended up becoming a part of the Aur Baati Hum. 14th of January is when I mark my first step into the industry as an actor. In sports, I was known. In cinema, after the first show, of course, since the first show was given to me on a platter, then it was long queues of auditions, and then the real struggle began. I was like, first show to mil gaya, but what after that? After that, then I literally had to go through the entire process of what the entire world goes through, of grabbing opportunities, pitching yourself, giving auditions, meeting the directors and the producers. So it was the same girl, different room, zero identity, or I'll say rebuilding the identity again after being a sports person, after being a part of a corporate journey for almost 2.5 years. I questioned everything. Am I good enough? Am I too late? Or was I foolish to just, grab this opportunity out of nowhere, and did I waste my time? But silence taught me something really powerful. When everything external is stripped away, you finally meet your real self. Sports helped me identify my character. Corporate helped me realize where do I belong. Acting helped me unleash and strip open the answers of my true existence in my life, getting me close to the life's purpose. That meeting is uncomfortable, but it is powerful. Because when titles fall, character still remains. And when the titles fell for me, national captain, no more there. Consultant in an Accenture, no more there. Then being an actor, but being an actor is like being in a pool again. So how do you do something different, especially when you're coming from an experience of achieving something great in your past? Today I look at all of you. You look confident, but I know what lies beyond the visible. Career pressure, comparison, fear of not being extraordinary. I think we are the most connected generation, and yes, the most anxious. Because we compare our invisible effort to someone else's visible outcome. Before lockdown, I shifted my base. Since I became an actor, I was in Bombay, and then during lockdown, I came back to Delhi. And then I wanted to rebuild, obviously restart my career in acting. So wanted to not go back to Bombay, to be honest, because during lockdown, I realized that I blinked and 5 years in Bombay went away. And that was not the life I wanted to lead after a lot of realization that happened during lockdown. I think I started enjoying the slow-paced life, and that's when I wanted to relocate to Hyderabad or Kochi, because I've worked in both Telugu and Malayalam industries as well. And still I chose Kochi over Hyderabad because it's again, Hyderabad I believe is again becoming next Delhi, Bombay, and I wanted peace because anyway my work travels is so much that I'm always on the go, but I wanted that when I go back home, it should slow down my life, it should give me peace and happiness. And being a non-Malayali, obviously born and brought up in Delhi, I rebuilt my entire life in Kochi. Now it's been 2.5 years that my base is Kochi, and I can't tell you that how much of power it has given me of staying there all by myself, away from family for the very first time, and rebuilding everything at a place wherein I have no background, no connection, no family, and even the language is the second toughest language in the world. Because we compare our invisible efforts to someone's visible outcome. So as I shared, lockdown got me my new life and my new base. Your timeline is not late. Your growth is not small. Your struggle is not your weakness. It is construction. You're not behind, you are rebuilding. I stopped asking after a while to myself, who am I without the spotlight? All the fancy titles that we've already discussed. And started asking, who am I becoming in the dark when I sleep alone with myself? When I just go alone for a walk with nobody right by my side? When there is, when there's something which is positive going to happen, but at any moment just doesn't happen. And you are left all alone by yourself to deal with the emotion. You can't obviously stress your parents kilometers away in Delhi, sharing everything with them, because they'll also be worried, right? And I'm sure we all go through that. We all end up not sharing a lot of our stuff to our families because it'll also make them upset, and you don't want that. So eventually what I've realized in my life is it is your resilience, it's your passion and determination which gets you out of a situation and which helps you take a call for yourself to move ahead in your life. Warriors are not built on stage, they are built in silence, in rejection, in doubt, in loneliness, heartbreaks, and in failures. Remember, my dear friends, you become strong when nobody claps. Dream, imagine, find work, work hard, and work smart. Explore, gain knowledge, implement, and achieve. I think that has more or less been my mantra, and it is a circle. Never take your successes too seriously and neither downfalls too seriously. And if you've actually experienced in life that, you've hit the rock bottom and nothing is going to happen. Trust me, friends, the life has just begun and something really beautiful that you haven't even experienced is yet to happen. One day the world will see your success, but long before that, you will see your struggle. Do not quit in the invisible phase. Well, because that phase is not empty. It is shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you. Quietly, silently, without letting you know what's in the store for you. There is a version of you forming quietly. Trust her, trust him. And when your moment comes, the light will only reveal what the dark already has built. You are bigger than what the world calls you. I once wore the Indian jersey with India written on the chest and my family name written at the back of my jersey. And today I wear many roles: actor, social entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and have been obviously an athlete, and just recently also ended up doing law, and I have enrolled in Kerala High Court. So these titles will always keep on adding basis your hunger for your achievements and your dreams in your life. But strongest of me was built when nobody was watching and nobody was clapping. Recently, at last, I would also want to experience, sometimes something good happens to us and we feel, oh, this is the best thing that has happened to us. But always believe in the fact that best is yet to come. What happened after leaving my professional sports in 2011, I never was a part of professional sports after that, and though I craved for it, I wanted to be a part of it, but when you've professionally retired, you've retired, right? But seriously, recently I got an opportunity to be the brand ambassador for Celebrity Cricket League for Kerala Strikers. And I can't tell you, in the last 10 years of being an actor, or maybe a little more, when I entered into the corporate life, those 4 to 5 days spent with the team was the best days of my life in last 13 to 14 years. Why? Because it got me back to the same energy, the same feel of being a part of a sports team, obviously not playing, but motivating them, being with them, traveling with them, having fun with them. And I can't tell you, I can't express in words how much joy and happiness those 4 to 5 days gave me. So that is why I'm saying that there's a lot beyond the visible that goes in. I want you to cherish, I want you to enjoy, and I want you to take life in the same amazing motivational spirit that you can, because nothing is permanent, and do not compare, because we are the writers of our own life, and you are destined to do what you're destined to do. Nobody can stop that, and I wish you all the best and all the success for everything that you wish and desire. Thank you so much.